Lem Barney is kind of a forgotten great cornerback when it comes to NFL history, probably because of the team that he played for. The Lions were not all that successful during the Lem Barney era, and they only made one playoff appearance with Lem Barney, and they lost that playoff game 5-0. But even with the lack of success the Lions had during his time in Detroit, it should not take away from the fact that he was a beast. In this video, I'm going to talk about Barney's impact on defense, where his production ranks in Lions history, and I'm also going to talk about some notable games and seasons that he had. The first thing I want to talk about is Barney's contributions to the Lions defense. When Barney joined the Lions, his impact was felt immediately. In 1966, the year prior to Barney being drafted by Detroit, the Lions had a 4-9-1 record, and their defense ranked 9 out of 15 NFL teams in points allowed, 12 out of 15 NFL teams in yards allowed, and 8 out of 15 in passing yards allowed. Then Barney got drafted by the Lions in 1967. He didn't improve the Lions' record all that much. They had one more win and one more tie. However, what he did improve was the defense, and he was pretty much the only really notable acquisition to the Lions' defense. Barney got the Lions' defense all the way up from 9 out of 15 in points allowed to 5 out of 16 in points allowed. The Saints joined the NFL in the 1967 season, so that is why I have out of 15 in 1966 and out of 16 in 1967. He got the Lions defense all the way up from 12 out of 15 in terms of yards allowed to 4 out of 16 in yards allowed, and he got their passing defense up from 8 out of 15 in passing yards allowed to 2nd out of 16 in terms of passing yards allowed. During Barney's time on the Lions, adjusting all of the Lions rankings for 28 teams, he contributed to 8 passing defenses that ranked in the top half of the league, and he contributed to 7 top 10 passing defenses. In terms of scoring defenses, Barney was able to help the Lions have 7 scoring defenses that ranked in the upper half of the league, and he was able to help the Lions have 6 scoring defenses that ranked in the top 10. Like I said, adjusted for 28 teams. 28 teams was the most amount of teams that there were during Lem Barney's time in Detroit. So now I'm going to talk about Barney's ranks in Lions history and some of his notable accolades. He was the Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1967, the year where he close to single-handedly turned the Lions defense around. He was awarded an All-Decade Team for the 1960s. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time All-NFL, and he got into the Hall of Fame in 1992. In 140 games with the Lions, Barney snatched 56 interceptions, which rank 2nd in Lions history, only behind Dick LeBeau, and they rank in the top 19 in NFL history. His 1,077 interception return yards rank 1st in Lions history and 8th in NFL history. His 7 interception return touchdowns rank 1st in Lions history and top 18 in NFL history. He had 143 punt returns with the Lions. His 1,312 punt return yards rank 3rd in Lions history. He averaged 9.2 yards per punt return, and he had 2 punt return touchdowns. Barney led the NFL in interceptions 1 time, interception return touchdowns twice, and interception return yards once. He scored 11 total touchdowns with the Lions. Of those 11 total touchdowns, 7 of them were interception return touchdowns, 2 of them were punt return touchdowns, 1 was a kick return, and 1 was off of a blocked field goal. Jack Christensen is the only non-offensive player in Lions history with more total touchdowns, and his 11 non-offensive touchdowns rank top 17 in the history of the NFL. And it is also worth noting that Barney is the only Lion to have an interception, punt, kick, and other return touchdown. So in terms of Barney's notable seasons and games, Barney's 5 seasons with 5 or more interceptions rank top 3 in Lions history. His 4 seasons with 7 or more interceptions rank top 2 and his 2 seasons with 8 or more interceptions rank top 5. His 4 seasons with 100 or more interception return yards rank top 2 in Lions history. In the 1967 season, Barney did a lot of notable things in terms of single season records by a Detroit Lion. His 10 interceptions that season are the second most by a Lions rookie, only to Don Dahl's 11 interceptions. His 232 interception return yards in 1967 were the second most by a Lions rookie and the third most in Lions history. And his 3 interception return touchdowns in the 1967 weren't just the most by a Lions rookie, but the most interception return touchdowns in a single season in the history of the Detroit Lions. Barney had 9 games where he grabbed 2 or more interceptions. That is the second most 2 or more interception games by a Detroit Lion since 1960. In all honesty, I feel that Jack Christensen is probably the record holder for most 2 interception games in Lions history, but Pro Football Reference does not appear to go back that far. Barney's 2 games with 3 or more interceptions are top 2 in Lions history since 1960. His 10 interceptions versus the Packers are the most in Lions history since 1960, and he was part of 3 different shutouts that the Lions defense did versus the Packers. So to close this video out, I will leave on the screen some notable quarterbacks that I found that Lem Barney picked off. There may be more, but these are the 4 most notable quarterbacks, and they were probably the best during their era. He picked off Terry Bradshaw once, Fran Tarkenton twice, Roger Staubach once, and Bart Starr 4 times. And of those 4 times that Barney picked off Bart Starr, he returned 3 of them for touchdowns. Granted, a decent chunk of those picks were near the end of Bart Starr's career, but nonetheless, he is a notable quarterback that Barney was able to intercept. And like I said, there may be more quarterbacks and there may be more times that he picked off these guys, but these were the total number of instances I could find. But Lem Barney was a great cornerback, and he was a very impactful player on defense. And he definitely deserves consideration as a top 10 Detroit Lion of all time. Well, that will be all for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed.